The Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria announced some weeks ago revised guidelines and requirements for individuals applying for certificate verification with foreign nursing boards and councils. Applicants are now required by the council to have at least 2 years of post-qualification experience from the date of issuance of their permanent practicing license. This development comes as government tries to tighten policies that make mass immigration of skilled healthcare workers easy. That's our focus on this episode of Health Options. Thanks for joining us on the program. I am Rabi Abdullah. If you're just joining us, this is Health Options, the program that not only tracks government policies on health, but helps you with the information you need to make informed choices about your health. We're taking a look at the revised guidelines and requirements for individuals applying for certificate verification with foreign nursing boards and councils. And joining me now in the studio to shed light on the revised guidelines is the Registrar of the Council, Dr. Farouk Abubakar. Welcome to Health Options, Dr. Farouk.
Thank you.
I know that as the regulatory body in charge of regulating the practice and the nursing profession generally in the country, there's a whole lot on you that requires professionalism, the right ethics and the rest. So now an issue is at hand, and we're talking about the revised guidelines. If you ask me, has been topical for quite some time now since the announcement was made some weeks ago. So it's on that note that I would like you to, first of all, start by telling us what this is all about, the revised guidelines.
All right. Thank you very much for having me at the studio. The revised guidelines, it is part of the mandate of the National Midwifery Council. Revise the standard from time to time. And as part of our mandate, we look at the present circumstances, the need to eject and now provide the needed manpower that will man our healthcare service in the country, and coupled with what is happening in the country and outside the country. Nigerians are leaving the country without following due process. At the same time, Nigerians are also creating a lot of setback by spoiling the image of the country. So like I said, it's part of our mandate to revise this guideline from time to time. And we felt there is need to revise this guideline that had been up there, that had been, we noticed a lot of shortfalls, a lot of problems along the line. And at the same time, we also see the need to provide adequate human resource for health that are capable of handling our healthcare service at all levels, in line with the present administration of the renewable agenda, where a lot of health policies are on ground, and there is need to have adequate human resource. Nursing and midwife are key in that perspective, and there is need to have them in the country in order to participate actively in providing the needed healthcare services to our Nigerians at all levels, both tertiary, secondary, and primary healthcare.
Yeah, I quite agree with you on that, Dr. Farouk. We are talking about a country with disturbing statistics of maternal and child mortality, and I know that a lot of efforts had gone into seeing that the reverse, that the trend is reversed. And we know the critical role that nurses and midwives play in that regard. And if we're talking about shortage of human resource for health, which I know had always been a problem. And of course, the Japa syndrome has equally taken its toll on the nursing profession, which you said, informed, keying into federal government's policies of checkmating jetting out of health professionals from the country for those seeking greener pastures and all of that. Let's look at it's your area now, talking about the nurses now. Why has it been really become a great source of worry now. The Japa syndrome is there. But within, if you are to rate, within which period would you say this had become really, really disturbing?
All right, thank you very much for these questions. You see, when you look at the trend and the guidelines and the event of movement of nurses, for you to leave this country, you require not less than 1 year, 6 months to put yourself, to follow the due process in order to get yourself out of the country. Let me just take your example. If you wish to go to America, you need to undergo a series of steps and processes ranging from you start with what is called the CJVN. It's an evaluatory assessment body. They have to assess your document, ensure that you undergo the training, and also you also possess the required qualification. After that one, you also have to apply for what is called the NCLEX examination. You also have to attend this examination. The whole of African countries is only in South Africa, where the center is situated. And the Nigerians are also traveling to Philippines, India to write this exam. After you have further exams, you also have to look for a regulatory body that will register you as a nurse. And this is also another process. After you have acquired the registration with a regulatory body, then you also need to undergo FBI clearance with the American body, with the security agencies. After completing that process, then you also go for FBI fingerprint. After completing that, you also look for job mentorship worker who will mentor you to look for a job in America. After completing that, then you also apply for what is called immigration 10140 immigration, that will give you ability to move into America with dignity. Now, these are the due process, and looking at this process, taking not less than 1 year, 6 months, then the council say, all right, let's just give a range of 2 years. I think within this period of 2 years, be able to complete your due process and move with dignity. We also come to our findings that most of Nigerians, they are only looking at our verification tools. And when they are verified, they don't follow this process. They only go to America as a professional nurse using all sorts of petty trading. And you now find yourself, how do you engage and follow the due process while you're in America? That has created and spoiling the names and the image of the country. And that has also become worrisome to the council. As a professional nurse going to America or any other countries, performing all petty job, not a professional job. And that has led so many of them involving in a lot of illegalities in order to get them, say, acquainted and now meet the requirement of those host countries. It's also a disturbing to Nigeria. Now, all these processes, just to tell you, we have a publication and report from UK, from America, where Nigerian nurses involved in falsification of their documents. And this is also a worrisome to the country. At the same time, when you come back home internally, they don't follow due process of their exit when they are ready to go. They only leave without due process, and that has created a lot of vacuum, where you see a nurse supposed to be on duty night, afternoon, and from nowhere, the nurse just exit. And when you are contacted, I'm at the airport, or I'm already in America or UK. Yeah. This is also, we receive a lot of complaints from the employer of these nurses. Some they are indebted with banks, some they are indebted with corporate organizations in their respective employers. And we don't want a situation of start calling back these nurses after we have issued a letter of good standing. And that will have done the image of the country. And we feel, look, let's revise these guidelines in order to safeguard the image of the country and also to allow these nurses to move with dignity. That's the main purpose where the distribution. Additionally, looking at the one of the key areas of the present administration of the Honorable Minister of Health is talking about good governance, quality healthcare services. You can only attend it with adequate manpower. Nurses are key, and they need to be available in order to provide these services needed in order to achieve this set objective of the government. And it's one of the key areas the Honorable Minister is focusing to attend. Okay. So these are the key areas, the reason why we need to revise these guidelines.
Okay. Can you let us into the nitty-gritties of the guidelines? What do the guidelines constitute?
All right, thank you very much. You see, the guideline is nothing strange. What we said is you can only initiate application for verification of your documents and letter of good standing after 2 years of registration. Now, let me take you for a graduate nurse. A graduate nurse that has qualified is expected to undergo 1-year internship program, 1-year NYSC. Now, these newly qualified, some of them, even at their final year of their studies, they start processing leaving this country. Many of them shunt the internship, many of them shunt the NYSC, and that's why we also look at it as a key. Now, those that finish from School of Nursing, some of them, now we have part of our reform agenda, they are expected to come out with HND, and after that HND, you are expected to go for 1-year sewage. It's industrial attachment in hospitals that give you consultative practical sessions. Now, these students are trying to channel this particular process. After that one, because they are coming with HND, you are expected to proceed for 1-year NYSC. And all this is part of the requirement to qualify you as a nurse. And this is also the reason why we think, let this student, or rather graduate, apply after 1 year, at least one. It gives them a bit stability to put their knowledge and acquire more experience so that they can be able to serve their country where they intend to go. They're able to represent the country very well as professional nurse, having acquired this knowledge and the skills. The one I mentioned earlier, after you have put your request in that host country, the host country send request to the council requesting for verification to verify those documents the individual submitted. Okay. At the same time, we are also to issue a letter of good standing. Now, we said we cannot issue a letter of good standing we don't know this individual because he is trained under he is working under a particular institution. Mm-hmm. Let those institutions give out the letter of his good character, good behavior, and attitude while undergoing training and while also working as a nurse. And that will give us the basis to say, look, this gentleman or this lady is qualified to be issued with a letter of good standing, so that all the issues and the problem I mentioned earlier have been taken care of. You are not leaving the issue, you are not leaving your employer without due process. That letter of good standing will be issued by the head of nursing of that institution where you are working. And that's what the nurses are reacting, that why should letter of good standing be issued by the head of nurses? And we want to avoid a situation where a complaint is coming from the employer. We don't want a situation where a complaint is also coming from the host country. So we make sure those that live with dignity. The letters of good standing issued by the council is surely authenticated, and the letters that are issued are letters that have the base from your employer. Okay. So that.
Okay, let me ask her this question, because like you said, it's obviously not going down well with some of the nurses. There are discordant voices out there, and I just want to find out, in a situation whereby the employer or maybe the head of nursing services now decide to be vindictive for whatever reason, it could be personal. We know what what happens within the civil service and all, even in the private sector. If such scenario presents itself, does the council has a way of verifying in such a way that the applicant is not shortchanged or denied his right or entitlement?
Certainly, the guidelines state all information submitted by the applicant will be verified by the council. We have a mechanism where all the information provided will verify it and ensure that this is authenticated and is authentic from the said individual that you have mentioned, because the guidelines split that you provide the names of the institutions, the names and the head of the institutions where you are working, and the address, email address. So when you provide that, because all is online and you provide that information, and by the time you click, the information will send to that head, and the head institution provide that information. And when that information is provided to the council, we are going to verify that information to ensure that it's authentic and it's from that individual, from based on the information you provide. to us.
Okay, there's an aspect that I came across that says, I think, is it 6 months to the expiration of the license that one is still eligible to go ahead with the process. Can you shed light on that?
Yeah, I think that issue of 6 months, it doesn't go well with them. Okay. But it's a range we just give ourselves. But we have now put it on by the side. Okay. And we now say we verified. If we're able to finish verification within the next 30 days, we'll be able to continue the process and now clear the individual. If it's taking more than, it depends on the information provided. And if it's taking more than 6 months, then it's also less on individual. But I want to assure you that 6 months that we have given ourselves, which they reacted, I think we have taken it up and we allowed flexibility. But we must verify those informations supplied by the individual. If we are able to complete within that period or less than that, then we'll be able to authenticate and provide the needed information and send to the regulatory body or any other agencies that require the information all over the world.
Okay, so from my own understanding, this ought to have taken effect from the 1st of March. Has it taken effect? How is it going so far?
Yeah, I think it's a guideline has already stated, and Council portal is active right now, and many nurses are continue to apply, and we have begin acting accordingly, and the letters of good standing are coming from the various head of nursing institutions across the country, and verification is also ongoing, has commenced, so that those that are eligible and meet the requirement will be cleared, and now their document will be sent to various agencies all over the world as they required. So there is no issue as far as that. Our portal for verification is active as stated on the 1st of March, and there is no ambiguity on that aspect.
Okay, we know that nurses and midwives are in high demand everywhere, which is why we learned that getting a job even outside the country is not a problem. It's something that comes very easy for them. What would you be telling young nurses or those ones even in school aspiring to become professional nurses so that the shortcut syndrome that we're experiencing now will not come to play when they are set to, render services to the society?
Well, I want to assure you we are taking a lot of measures to ensure that more nurses are produced that are higher quality and within the professional norms. Let me just inform you, under the new renewable agenda of the Honorable Minister, when he directed that we look at the possibility of double up the productions of nurses, last year we produced 29,000 nurses and midwives across the country. And when you look at back in the last 6 years, the country is producing an average of 6,700. So we are scaling up the production. And looking at our data indexing database as of December 2023, we increased the intake up to enrollment up to 63,000. And our projection for this year's production of nurses stood at 47,000 nurses. So we are alive, and we are also active to ensure that more nurses are produced, that were capable and convenient to work at all levels of healthcare delivery in line with the present administration policies that are put in place to ensure more and adequate human resources are available to man our healthcare services. On the part of the younger one, I think I want to assure you the training of nurses under no circumstance cannot be compromised, and even the increase and quota that is given to all the institutions is in line with the available resources that has given us 1:10, which is the standard in giving the quota to all the institutions. So there is no allow, and the more opportunities given to the younger one to be enrolled, and more institutions are also coming on board, especially the universities. Presently, we have over 109 approved universities by the National University Commission, which we are also visiting gradually, and we have granted approval for them to commence, and some have also keen in. On the part of the collegiate system, over 130 colleges of nursing and midwifery are also available in the country. We have doubled up their intake, and more nurses are being trained, and more nurses are ejected into society. So all in line with this are putting challenges. It is our desire and hope more Nigerian nurses will work anywhere in the world, and it is our pride.
If you ask me, I would say that Nigeria actually needs them more. We need to retain them. So I would like to find out what exactly is being done to deal with the pull factor that makes, that makes them want to leave the country. Beyond this issue of revising the guidelines, what else is being done, to retain them, to make the country more attractive for them to stay back and deliver the needed services?
Well, I think on the part of the full factor you have just mentioned, I am fully aware the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwife paid a courtesy visit to the Honorable Minister some weeks back. And these are some issues they have raised, and the Honorable Minister is so much committed to ensure that their well-being and welfare is also being improved. A lot of facilities, working tools will be made available that will make them more convenient and comfortable to work. So I want to believe the present administration is doing a lot. A lot of measures are put in place to ensure that their remunerations and welfare and better working conditions are put in place, and that will also checkmate the issue of full factor that is responsible for there to move. So I just have time to be patient. Within the couple of weeks or months, things will be much better for them, and they will be able to appreciate what the present administration is doing in terms of their remunerations and well-being, as well as working condition is concerned.
Okay, on a last note, Dr. Farouk, what have we been able to do in terms of making it easier for student nurses to get to do their internship? I know there used to be backlog, people looking forward to, put their head for internship and all of that.
Yeah, I think the council put a strategy reaching a lot of private health institutions, private hospitals, tertiary and secondary, and we are granting approval for them to, for the interns to work in their hospitals, so that we create more spaces for these interns, so that we're able to have spaces. A lot have been done. As of today, I know about 5 hospitals have been granted approval, and we are making arrangements to follow them, so that we assess their facilities and now give approval to allow the intern to have a spaces. Additionally, the Federal Ministry of Health is also working strategy to ensure central mobilizations of this intern, not only nurses and all other professional pharmacists, medical lab scientists, optometrists, etc., so that we'll be able to push and ensure more being pushed and sent to various tertiary hospitals across the country in order to attend these problems.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Farouk Walker, Registrar, Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, for making our time to join us on health options and giving us insights into the revised guidelines for nurses who want to practice outside the country. And of course, we look forward to things getting better, so that we can retain our nurses and let them serve our people, because there's so much we need them, to do back home. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
You are watching Health Options. Let's take some messages. The program returns shortly. Do stay. This is where we end this episode of Health Options. A quick reminder that you can go to our YouTube channel to watch the upload of this and other episodes of the program. I am Rabi Abdullah. Many thanks for watching. Be good and stay safe.